Please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, distinguished sponsor. May the distinguished sponsor yield to some clarificatory questions.
Mr. Speaker, gladly.
Mr. Speaker, naalala ko lang, nung 18th Congress, itong usapin ng extension ay pinag-usapan din nung 2022. At nung dinibate to, naalala ko kasama pa namin sa Zoom, si Congressman Khalid de Maporo, ang nag-sponsor noon si Congressman Toto Mangudadato. At ang sabi sa atin noon, yun yung first and last postponement ng BARM election. Gusto ko lang ho balikan nung panahon ng ARM. Mr. Speaker, tanong kita ho, kasi alam ko bahagi na kayo ng Autonomous Region noon, nakailang postponement nung time ni Ms. Wari ang Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao?
Kung di po ako nagkakamali, Mr. Speaker, baka nakadalawa po silang postponement.
Nung panahon ni Farouk Hussein as governor ng ARMM, nakailang postponement?
Nasa high school pa ho ako noon, Mr. Speaker, pero alam ko isang beses ho sila nag-postpone ng election. Hindi ako nagkakamali. No?
At nung panghuli, nung panahon ho ni Governor Huki Adjong, nagkaroon ng postponement. Tama?
Tama po, Mr.
Ito
Speaker.
yung panahon ni Pangulong Aquino. Mr. Speaker, naalala ko ho, nung matindi ang dayaan nung halalan nung 2004 election, dahil naalala ko noon, member na ako ng 12 or 13 Congress, o 13 or 14 Congress, 13, anong 12 Congress, pinag-usapan at nagbibilang dito kasi nagkaroon nga ng investigation dito sa Congress, at isang sa mga naging parang kantsawan dito sa Congress, ang ARM daw ay naging balon ng dayaan. Ibig sabihin, tuwing election, laging hinuhuli. Kaya, laging hinuhuli yung election. Kaya nung time ni Pangulong Aquino, dapat magkaroon ng electoral reform sa ARMM. Dapat masynchronize ang election para hindi matawag na naging balon ng dayaan. Kasi naalala ko sa aming probinsya, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, nung binilang ang boto, dito mismo, mas mataas yung bilang ng boto kaysa sa registered voters. Pangalawa ho, nung binilang din ang Lanao del Sur, pilit idepensa ng administrasyon nung panahong yon. Ganon din ho, mas mataas yung bilang ng registered ng bumoboto kaysa sa registered voters. Dahil dito, maraming namulat at naging kantsawan yung Autonomous Region at that time. Kaya nga ho, tayo sinuportahan natin yung synchronization na dapat isabay na para hindi, kasi naalala ko rin nung nagkaroon ng panawagan ng 12-0 sa mga senador. Ganon din ho, sa Maguindanao kinuha ang malaking boto ng pinakahuling numero para pumasok sa 12. So ang kawawa ho dito, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, hindi ang taga Luzon, hindi yung taga Visayas, kung hindi ang kawawa rito yung mamamayang Moro. Lagi na lang tayong kinukutya, lagi tayong kinakantsawan na ang lugar natin naging dayaan. Kaya napakahalaga ho sa atin yung usapin ng synchronization. At naging masaya tayo na dapat sabay-sabay ang eleksyon para walang pwedeng mag-dominate ng election sa... pero andito tayo ngayon, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor. Noong 2022, ito na ho ang pangamba natin. Nung pinospone at inextend yung transition period. Pero pinilit nating intindihin ito sa konteksto dahil nagkaroon ng pandemya. Dahil ang rason ng mga opisyal ng Autonomous Region at that time, sabi nila hindi natapos ang kanilang mga mandato. Ito yung 6 na code na hindi nila natapos nung panahon. Pero Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, ngayon ang tanong ko, natapos na ho ba ng Bangsamoro Autonomous Regional Government ang 6 na code na iniatas ng pamahalaan o ng Kongreso ng Republika ng Pilipinas sa ngayon?
Yes po, Mr. Speaker. Natapos na po nila yung 6 na codes, Mr. Speaker. Dalawa nga po doon ay nandoon pa, may question po sa Supreme Court, yung petition, yung sa Bangsamoro Local Governance Code at saka yung Bangsamoro Electoral Code, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished Interpolator.
Anyway, Mr. Speaker, just for the record, kanina nga bago ako tumayo, tinanong ko yung isang miyembro ng parlamento at kung ano yung status din ng mga codes. Ang sinasabi nila, ang Indigenous Peoples Act proposed bill ay nasa third reading. at ang revenue code ay nasa committee level. Pero ang tingin ko, madali na din nilang tapusin yon. Pero ang punto ko dito, Mr. Speaker, ngayon magpo-postpone tayo. Hindi na ang rason natin dahil hindi natapos yung electoral code. At alam din natin, napakahalaga ng eleksyon. Dahil kung pag-uusapan natin yung peace agreement o pag-uusapan natin yung kapayapaan, tulad nga nung binanggit ni Congressman Khalid Dimapuro nung nasa committee tayo, hindi magkakaroon ng pirmahan ng exit agreement habang hindi natin ma-formalize yung, ma-regularize yung government ng Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. At ma-regularize lang natin to kung magkakaroon ng eleksyon. So ngayon here we are at meron na namang panukala na i-postpone ang election. Batay doon sa presentation ng OPAP at nabasa kong mga explanatory note ng proposed measure, ang ilang kinoconsider nilang reason dahil sa Supreme Court ruling ng Sulu, pagtanggal sa Sulu bilang kabahagi ng Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, at ang pangalawa yung special geographic areas ng SGA sa North Cotabato, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, pwedeng malaman kung ano yung connection at relasyon ng SGA composition para ma-convert into province sa postponement ng election? Bakit naging rason?
Mr. Speaker, yung sa OPAP po, I think the good interpellator was referencing the reasons given by the OPAP. Mr. Speaker, if you go back to this proposed legislation, Mr. Speaker, there's no indication that would say that we as authors, Mr. Speaker, put that into consideration. In fact, Mr. Speaker, ang proposal po na talaga natin ay just because of the Sulu exclusion, kailangan po talaga magkaroon ng sapat na panahon ng Parliament para mag-redistribute. Gusto ko lang po ding i-touch, Mr. Speaker, yung issue nung sinabi po natin kagalang-galang na interpellator. Gusto lang natin ipaintindi sa kamarang ito na hindi ho tayo, we are not proposing this on the basis of whoever wants to pursue resetting the election or postponing the election. We are not proposing this as an answer to the request of the Parliament. Or are we proposing this bill to answer the request or the reasons laid down by OPAP? It is simply on a purely legal effect, Mr. Speaker, of the exclusion of Sulu na kinakailangan sa mga pagkakataon po ito ay bigyan ng sapat na panahon ang Parliament para po ma-redistribute nila yung 7 seats, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, ang alam ko nung binuo yung Bangsamoro Electoral Code, napakahaba ng proseso. Umikot yung Parliament, yung Bangsamoro government sa kasuluk-sulukan ng iba't ibang probinsya ng autonomous region para mag-conduct ng consultation. So, ang tingin ko, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, kung talagang gusto ng Bangsamoro government at yun yung issue natin, yung 7, hindi ba ang dapat amyendahan nila yung Bangsamoro Electoral Code or amyendahan natin yung Bangsamoro Organic Law? Kasi ang alam ko, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, kaya nahirapan tayo dahil nakasaad ito doon sa Bangsamoro Organic Law na dapat 80. Tama?
Tama po yun.
At the same time, nakalagay rin sa Bangsamoro Electoral Code na dapat 80. Tama?
That's correct, Mr. Speaker.
So yung 80 na to, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, dinistribute nila ito sa iba't ibang district. Pero kung titingnan mo yung numero ng mga probinsya, merong mga surplus based doon sa 100:1 na 1:100 na allocation. Halimbawa Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, kung titingnan nyo yung population ng kada probinsya, kulang ang 7 para ma-distribute. So, ang tingin ko, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, bakit tayo magpapauto sa ganitong kalakaran at magpa-hostage tayo, samantala pwede naman nilang gawin to the extent merong mga constitutional provision ng ating saligang batas ang ating i-violate. Kanina nga umamin kayo at nag-agree kayo doon sa ni-raise na issue ni Congresswoman Arlene Brosas, yung issue ng synchronization. Ang tingin ko mas mabilis, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, para hindi na lamang lagi tayo na strike down ng Korte Suprema. Halimbawa, sa barangay election, ganun din nangyari. Tapos, andito na naman tayo. Baka ito rin yung mangyayari, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor. Di ba dapat ang tama nun, mag-convene yung Bangsamoro Parliament at i-reallocate nila yung 7?
Isa po yun sa mga options na pwede pong gawin ng Parliament. In fact, empowered po sila na gawin itong reallocation na itong 7 seats po na ito.
Kasi Mr. Speaker, kaya naman Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, pwede rin ang gawin natin, i-amend natin yung BOL.
Mga options po yan, Mr. Speaker, na po pwedeng gawin o exercise ng Kamara ito.
Bakit, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, ito yung option na pinili natin na alam natin merong legal complications?
Because, Mr. Speaker, practicality of time.
Paano naging practical, Mr.
Dahil
Speaker?
unang-una po, of course, kailangan din ho nating makuha yung sentimento kung sinong mag-a-administer ng election to make sure that the election will be free, orderly, and honest. So, una po na substantial yung consideration na pwede nating ibigay, yung hard-pressed time na sinasabi po ng COMELEC. Ang sabi po ng Commission, on December 13, they will start printing the ballots. And prior to the printing of the ballots, they will also assign each of the machines that will be used for the election to different localities all over the country. So yun po yung isa sa mga major consideration natin.
Pero Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, nilalagay tayo ng COMELEC at bakit naman tayo magpapauto sa kanila? Na alam natin merong legal complication dahil doon sa issue ng synchronization. And besides, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, kailan lang meron ding ruling ang Korte Suprema yung kaso ng Makalintal versus COMELEC. At malinaw ni-lay down ng COMELEC kung ano yung mga possible reasons lang na pwedeng mag-postpone ng election. Ito nga ang nangyari, Mr. Speaker, ito ang kopya. Halimbawa, pwede lang tayo, sa number 2 reason nga ng Korte Suprema, sinasabi nila, pwede tayong mag-postpone ng election upang tiyakin na walang ma-disenfranchise. Di ba itong pag-postpone natin ng election, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor is, di ba disenfranchisement ito ng milyon-milyon na botante sa Bangsamoro?
Yung Mr. Speaker, yung disenfranchisement po, ako, I agree that, sinabi ko na nga po kanina, that I agree that the suffrage is a constitutionally guaranteed right. But there are also exceptions and cases wherein we also consider the practicality of holding the election. Yung sinabi po ko po kanina, in the case of BARM, because it's sui generis, it's a product of a political settlement, we have to make sure that we do not only allow the people to exercise this constitutionally guaranteed right, but to make sure that what they elect will be effective in that position in running the affairs of the government. Now, I cannot, for the good of me, just simply discount the Sulu exclusion as my major consideration. Kasi yung election po ng 7 seats would definitely determine on how the parliament can exercise its powers, being a legislative, at the same time, in an executive branch of government.
Actually, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, wala tayong dinisenfranchise doon sa 7. Because etong 7 na to, doon sa allocation ngayon, meron na silang allocation.
What I mean, Mr. Speaker, of disenfranchisement is that we allow the BARM, kanina nga, to elect their leaders in the national, and the local, and the national level. So, it is not as if we are taking away the right of the Moro people to elect their leaders. We're just simply putting things into its right perspective with the ruling of the Supreme Court dealing with the participation of Sulu as part of the core territory initially, leaving therefore as an effect of the ruling the 7 seats vacant, dun po tayo magkakaproblema. And Mr. Speaker, sinabi po ng ating kagalang-galang na interpellator, tama po siya na 80 ang sinabi ng BOL. Pero it does not necessarily reconcile with the provisions in the BOL where it says in 100,000 population, there has to be 1 representation. Hindi po siya compatible eh. So, taking into account yung request or yung requirement ng BUL for representation, that would be a way to redistribute these 7 seats to those areas that have surpassed the requirement of 100,000 population.
Tama, Mr. Speaker. Kasi halimbawa, sa Basilan, pwedeng ma-qualify siya sa isa. Sa Tawi-Tawi, ma-qualify ng isa. In fact, even ang Lanao, ang alam ko, kailangan pa ng dagdag. Kung ang qualification is yung 1:100 na minimum requirement, pwede pa ng 2. Ganon din sa Maguindanao del Sur and Maguindanao del Norte, Mr. Speaker. Pero ang mahirap lang tanggapin, Mr. Speaker, kaya nating isakripisyo ang karapatan ng ordinaryong Bangsamoro dahil lang doon sa 7 na pwede namang mag-function ang pamahalaan. Halimbawa, even dito sa Congress, Mr. Speaker, may mga kasama tayong namamatay while ongoing yung session, pero hindi ho napaparalisa. Kaya nga sa demokrasya, dinidefine kung merong mayorya, pwedeng magpasya. Ito more than majority, more than simple majority. So pwedeng pag-usapan ho natin. Para ang punto ko lang, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, mahirap tumanggap ng isang proseso. Parang tayo dito sa Congress, madali lang nating tanggapin at gumawa ng batas para i-disenfranchise yung ordinaryong mamamayang Moro. Di ba tayong mga Moro ang dapat magtanggol dito? At ipapaliwag natin na huwag. Kasi kailangan natin yung, dahil ang pundasyon ng demokrasya, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, at ng isang leader ay dapat meron siyang mandato sa Bakit napakadali para sa gobyerno ng Pilipinas or sa Kongreso mag-postpone kung pagdating sa bakit halimbawa sa ibang distrito hindi natin kaya or mag-postpone ng election, pero pagdating ho dito, Mr. Speaker, distinguished po, napansin ko mula noon hanggang ngayon talagang napakadali dahil itinuturang to local, pero sa totoo lang ang implication nito, Mr. Speaker, is national and international. So, yun lang, Mr. Speaker, kaya ko nire-raise yung issue na to. Baka mahalaga ho, tingnan natin, mas pagtuunan natin ng pansin yung pagtiyak, yung electoral participation ng ating mga kababayan, hindi yung pag-disenfranchise sa kanila. Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor.
Well, nag-agree po ako sa sentimento ng ating kagagalang-galang na interpellator. In fact, magkakasama po kami nung siya po ang aming regional governor, nung oras po, nung panahon for the late President Benigno Aquino, Mr. Speaker. Pero gusto ko lang po din ilagay into konteksto yung mga previous po na postponement na nangyari. Meron pong mga kadahilanan ito, Mr. Speaker, at sa mga kadahilanan po ito, hindi ko lang ho alam kung anong naging precision ng bawat miyembro ng House at nung mismong mga leader ng community nung oras na yun kung bakit na-postpone. Minsan, kailangan in-synchronize. Minsan, kailangan, ang mga rason is kailangan in-synchronize. Pangalawa, kailangan i-computerize, i-digitalize yung election. Ito po yung mga naging rason ng mga previous na mga postponement mo, Mr. Speaker. Pero gusto ko lang pong ipaliwanag dito sa kagalang-galang na kamarang ito, na ito po, simula po nung nagkaroon po tayo ng BARM, ito po yung kauna-unahang resetting ng election. At kung bakit ito importante ho sa akin ito, tama po, dapat wala pong ma-disenfranchise na elector. Pero kailangan din po, pag nagkaroon ng first historic BARM election, hindi lang basta-basta na 7 ay undecided or 7 ay ipapa-appoint na lang natin. Kung magkakaroon po tayo ng election, Mr. Speaker, this will be the historic election in the BARM because this is going to be the first election. Ay dapat plansado ng lahat at dapat lahat ng dapat na ma-represent dyan sa parliament, sa 80 seats na yan, ay may represent po dyan sa parliament. Ngayon, wala nang sulu. Tama po, babalikan ko lang po. Dapat deserve ng Basilan na magkaroon ng additional 2, Mr. Speaker. That is essentially one of the definition of being represented well and not disenfranchised. Kailangan magkaroon ng additional 2 seats ang Basilan from the 7 seats that are vacated by the exclusion of Sulu as ruled by the Supreme Court.
Pero Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, hindi ho yun yung issue natin ngayon eh. Yung issue ho rito, yung participation ng ating mga kababayan. Isipin nyo, paghaharian ka sa loob ng, nililid ka ng mga unelected official. Diba? Hindi ka sigurado kung pinagkatiwalaan mo hindi at ilan lang ang pipili sa kanila nang sa loob ng 7 years. Diba? At dadagdagan mo ng 8 years. Huwag muna tayo doon ho, punta sa issue ng synchronization. Pero yung issue ko ho dito, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, yung usapin na kaya nating isakripisyo yung milyon na pumili ng kanilang leader kesa pag-isipan natin kung ano yung mga posible gawin doon sa 7 para ma-reallocate. Kasi Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, pwede naman tayong gumawa ng batas at sabihin natin, ituloy natin ang eleksyon. Pero dapat magkaroon ng special election doon sa 7. Hindi ba posible yun, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, as an option?
Well, it could be entertained as an option, but this representation, Mr. Speaker, will still maintain its position that this bill is not to favor the current leadership in the BARM. In fact, the reason why we are not extending the transition period is precisely that. We do not want anybody or any group to continue on in power, in perpetuity. That's why we are setting simply the
Mr.
election.
Speaker,
because
whether i-extend mo...
If I may be allowed, Mr. Speaker. No, Mr. Speaker. So, I'm here to answer the question of the good gentleman from Basilan.
Sige, tuloy mo, Mr. Speaker.
So, ganun po. Nag-agree naman po kami doon. And there are also a lot of options that can be considered, Mr. Speaker. But as far as this representation is concerned, I only balance, Mr. Speaker, with the requirement of the law, which is to have as soon as possible the elections, and with that of the ruling of the Supreme Court, and the decision of the COMELEC that should there be any extension or any resetting of the election, it should be done the earliest possible time.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, gusto ko lang balikan. Meron kayong binanggit. Ang kaibahan ng panukala na to is resetting?
Yes, that is correct, Mr. Speaker.
Hindi extension ng BTA.
Not the extension of the transition.
Anong difference?
The difference is that once you extend the transition, in effect, katulad po siya nung 18th Congress.
So, pag in-extend natin ang... Ika-clarify ko lang just for the record, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor. Pag in-extend natin ang BTA, ang ibig sabihin ba nito hindi applicable yung BTA is led by MILF?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, because in the proposed law, Mr. Speaker, there are only...
Hindi. Yes or no, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, that is correct.
So, ibig sabihin, mag-a-appoint ng bago, not necessarily MILF ang magiging Chief Minister.
That is correct, Mr. Speaker, according to the spirit of this proposed legislation.
Pero in effect, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, pag ni-reset mo, ma-extend yung transition o hindi?
Kasi the transition period. Yung transition period po, sabi po ng ating kagalang-galang na interpellator, ay nakaangkla sa 7 codes. Tama po siya, and agree with him. 6 sa 7 na mandatory codes ay pasado na.
Okay. Hindi
yung pang-7,
dalawa.
3rd reading na. So ibig sabihin, those are the major consideration why in the previous Congress they have extended the transition period, because they have yet to adopt these major codes. Now that they have already adopted the major codes, there's no reason, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, for the transition period to be extended again for another 3 years.
Mr. Speaker, kaya ko kinote yung point na yon, yung sabi mo, pag resetting, hindi extension.
Yes, that is correct.
Pero binabanggit ninyo po, Mr. Speaker, mula kanina, etong extension resetting, postponement nakakonteksto sa peace process. Even sa committee hearing.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to...
So, kung tanggalin natin yung issue na hindi na led ang MILF, ibig sabihin hindi na ito nakakontext sa peace process and part ng continuation ng peace process.
Well, the law does not speak anything about not or excluding the MILF. That's why we are also, Mr. Speaker, maintaining the position that that they are already deemed resigned. It's up, Mr. Speaker, to the appointing authority, in this case, the President, who shall appoint members of the 80 Parliament for 1 year in office, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor. So, ang position ko po, Mr. Speaker, is yung transition kasi nakalaan doon talaga na 3 years po yung sa transition, kaya nga po in-extend ang implication nan is 2025.
Mr. Speaker, even yung extension nung una, discretion naman talaga ng presidente yon eh. Kumbaga, inherent authority yon ng presidente. Likewise, ito, whether extended ang BTA, whether sabihin nyo resetting yon, inherent power pa rin yon ng presidente na mag-appoint ng kung sino ang gusto nyo. Pero ang tinatanong ko, Mr. Speaker, kaya lang ho, naalarma ako, Mr. Speaker. Balikan ko, just for the record. Kasi mahirap, Mr. Speaker, kanina ho, binanggit nyo, ang kaibahan na to, hindi extension ng BTA, ng transition.
That is correct.
Klaro ko yun. Kasi kung hindi extension ng transition to, mag-iiba yung nature ng organization sa extension. pwede i-appoint ng presidente, wala ng MILF.
Mr. Speaker, again, babalikan ko po yung sinasabi po ng ating kagalang-galang na interpellator na mayroong discretion ng presidente mag-appoint. That is correct. Pero ang sinabi po naman talaga doon is MILF-led, hindi ho ba sa Bangsamoro. Ang transition period is MILF-led. Though the president appoints or releases the appointment for all of the members of the parliament to assume their seats in the parliament, still the nominees that will be appointed by the president as far as the seats reserved for the MILF is concerned, is MILF lang po ang mag-i-endorse nun. That is what I meant, Mr. Speaker, that tama po siya na ang mag-a-appoint ng president, the power to appoint. But the selection by which the president will appoint the members of the parliament in the transition period would definitely be the ones for the government of the day and the majority be endorsed by the parliament, Mr. Speaker. Gusto ko lang po ma-konteksto. That is why, Mr. Speaker, balikan po natin yung position ng ating mga kagalang-galang na interpellators. Bakit kailangan i-postpone disenfranchisement? The reason why we're resetting the election is precisely that. We do not want to perpetuate somebody in power. That's why we are allowing the resetting of the election because of the Sulu exclusion. Yun lang po yung position natin.
Naiintindihan ko yun, Mr. Speaker. Gusto ko lang balikan yung one point. Kasi ito ho, binabanggit nyo kanina, ikaklaro ko, pwede nyong sabihin hindi yun yung point nyo. Pero ang tinatanong ko, Mr. Speaker, ito ba ay extension ng transition o hindi?
Hindi po.
Okay.
Diyan po sa batas,
kung
resetting the
hindi
election.
extension ng transition, therefore, ang resetting na to not necessarily led by MILF.
That is correct, Mr. Speaker.
So pwede rin, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, dahil hindi ito transition na kahit sino ang gusto ng Pangulo, whether MNLF, MILF, CAPGU, CHDF, pwede niyang i-appoint.
Pwede po, basta mag-qualify po siya as a member ng po pwede rin po.
Hindi, lahat naman, Mr. Speaker, hindi naman siguro ang Pangulo mag-appoint ng hindi qualified. Pero ang sinasabi ko rito, remember, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, kasi malaking issue to, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, sa peace process. Kaya ni-raise ko yung point na to. Dahil MILF ang stakeholder sa peace process. Pero kung halimbawa, wala na siya dito sa transition period, dahil hindi transition period, dahil hindi na to transition, kaya yun lang ang kinaklaro ko, Mr. Speaker.
Ang transition po ay na-extend from 2022 to 2025.
Okay.
Opo. Ang pinopropose po natin is resetting the election. Discretion po ng presidente yan kung sino pong i-appoint niya dyan. Since hindi na po siya extension ng transition period, hindi po talaga magmamatter yung MILF-led. Kasi yung MILF-led po yung Mr. Speaker ay nakaangkla po dyan sa transition period.
So hindi rin magmamatter kung merong MILF o wala. Kasi hindi na nga siya transition period.
Tama po yan, kasi discretion naman po ng presidente yan, Mr. Speaker.
Even yung nakaraan, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, transition, discretion naman talaga ng presidente yon. Ang kaibahan lang doon, kasi MILF-led at merong nominee ang MILF. Pero dito sa resetting, wala nang hindi requirement yung nomination ng MILF. Kasi sinasabi nyo, resetting lang to.
Opo, tama po yun, kasi we are giving latitude for the president to exercise his discretionary powers, Mr. Speaker.
Actually, Mr. Speaker, kahit ang latitude ng Pangulo, hindi pwedeng bawasan talaga. Ang kinaklarify ko lang dito talaga, yung issue ng resetting at postponement.
Na-clarify po.
Okay. Yun lang Mr. Speaker, ang ikaklaro natin. But anyway, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, nung committee hearing ni-require natin ang SOLGEN at ng COA kaugnay ng usapin ng funding for Sulu, kung ano yung opinion nila. Did they submit their position paper, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we have here in our possession the position paper ng Solicitor General, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Ano yung pinaka-content ng position paper, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, ng SOLGEN at ng Commission on Audit?
Mr. Speaker, may I request for a few minutes suspension?
Session is suspended. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I now move that we recognize for this interpellation Representative Mujib Hataman of the Lone District of Basilan.
Honorable Mujib Hataman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, just to set the record straight, before we suspended the debate earlier, Mr. Speaker, there was a question on whether or not the transition period would continue. Mr. Speaker, this representation was basing his answers on the questions being asked by the Representative Hataman on the premise that according to the proposed bill, it is matter of resetting the election. But this representation also has to be, also needs to consider the previous law that was enacted by this Congress during the 18th Congress, which is to reset the election or to extend the transition period. Mr. Speaker, it's very clear under the BUL that while the election, regular election, is yet to be conducted, it should be under the interim government. It should be within. It should be the MILF-led, Mr. Speaker, Your Honors. And I refer, Mr. Speaker, the attention of the good gentleman from Basilan on Republic Act 115931, Mr. Speaker, specifically citing Section 2. And I would like to quote, just to set the record straight, Section 2 of Republic Act 115931, resetting the first regular elections in the BARM Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, amending for the purpose Section 13, Article 16 of Republic Act 11054, otherwise known as the Organic Law for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. And it stipulates here, and I quote, during the extension of the transition period, the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, BTA, shall continue as the interim government in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, provided, however, that the President may appoint the 80 new interim members of the BTA who shall serve up to June 30, 2025, or until their successors shall have been elected and qualified. Mr. Speaker, although it is not specifically mentioned under this law, when it comes to the transition period, it stipulates under the original Section 2 under the BOL, it does not also speaks about disallowing any of the members of the MILF. The premise, Mr. Speaker, that this representation would like to clarify, Mrs. Chair, is that on the question of whether the President has the latitude and discretion to appoint new members, it is consistent, the position of this representation is consistent with Section 2 under Republic Act 115931. So there is no conflict whatsoever, Mr. Speaker, with the ones that have been answered by this representation to the question of the good gentleman from Basilan. Should the President continue on, and I guess by the supremacy of the Bangsamoro Organic Law, it is implied altogether, even without citing that specific provision, it is implied that MILF should partake and should engage and should actively participate should this House decides to reset the election from 2025 to 2026. I'd like to thank again the good gentleman from Basilan for giving me that opportunity to set the record straight, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, just for purposes of record, House Bill 11...
House Bill 115931, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
So,
Republic Act, sorry. Republic Act 115931, Mr. Speaker.
So, just for the record, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, ang difference ho ng resetting nung nakaraan, nung 2022, categorically and specifically binanggit and extending the transition period, right?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Understand.
Pero dito ho sa House Bill 11144, wala na ho yung provision na yun.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, yes, Mr. Speaker, this representation, the committee has decided, Mr. Speaker, to remain silent about that because the application of the original Bangsamoro Organic Law and with the section, with Republic Act 11593, it is already implied, Mr. Speaker, that MILF should be part of the interim government while it is still an interim government, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor. So I don't think there's a necessity for this representation to even supply that criteria, Mr. Speaker, because it has already been laid out under these two laws, Mr. Speaker. What this representation is, and the other authors simply wish to introduce is the resetting of the elections from 2025 to 2026, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished interpolator.
So, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, just for the record, etong resetting na to hindi kasama yung extension ng transition period.
Mr. Speaker, the implication of that, Mr. Speaker, is under this previous law, since we did not introduce any amendment to Section 2, then it follows, Mr. Speaker, that since it's...
Actually, totally dinilit ang Section 2.
No, in our proposal, Mr. Speaker, I don't...
In the proposed Bill 11144. Iba ang Section 2 rito. May kopya.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I have here, it is, Mr. Speaker, it is a, if I may be allowed to quote Section 2 so that we can be of the same page. Section 2, upon effectivity of this Act, this is under the proposed House Bill 11144. Upon activity of this Act, the term of the present duly constituted Bangsamoro Transition Authority in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao shall be deemed expired. The President shall appoint 80 new interim members of the BTA who shall serve until the successor shall have been elected and qualified, meaning those who are currently occupying the 80 seats in the Parliament shall be rendering their resignation, shall be deemed expired.
Mr. Speaker,
Your Honor.
Can I have the copy of the said Republic Act, Mr. Speaker?
I have here, I just quoted to you just now, House Bill 11144, but I have here the copy of Republic Act 11593, Mr. Speaker.
Pwedeng
Yes.
1 minute suspension, Mr.
Session is suspended. George, please continue.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor. Ika-clarify ko lang, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, yung Section 2. May specific mention about the continuation of interim government as a transition authority, right?
In our proposed bill, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
In the Republic Act.
Oh, yes. Again, it mentions about the word interim members of the BTA. But it also qualifies that the interim members shall be new according to Section 2. Ibig sabihin po, Mr. Speaker, mag-appoint po ng bago. Opo.
Mag-appoint ng bago, pero yung issue ko dito, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, yung paggamit ng word continue, kasi napaka importante nun. Kasi dito ho, sa bagong measure, proposed House Bill number 11144, wala na hong continuation. So walang specific mention ng continuity ng interim government ng Bangsamoro Transition Authority.
Mr. Speaker, we do have and we did use the word interim under our proposed bill. Section 2, may I invite the attention of the good gentleman from Basilan, line 3 of Section 2. Before or after the word 80 members,
the President shall appoint the 80 new interim members of the BTA who shall serve as their successors shall have been elected and qualified.
And if
Mr. Speaker, distinguished, anong difference ng Section 2 ng Republic Act pati Section 2 nung
apart from the terminologies, I guess the way that it was constructed in spirit, Mr. Speaker, parehas naman po kung akong tatanungin nyo, kasi kung i-quote ko po itong Section 2 under Republic Act 11593, ang sinasabi po dito, provided, however, that the President may appoint the 80 new interim members of the BTA who shall serve up to June 30, 2025 or until the successor shall be elected and qualified. Dito naman po, sa pinopropose po natin na batas, ang sinasabi po dito, the President shall appoint 80 new members of the BTA who shall serve until their successor shall be elected and qualified. So in spirit po, Mr. Speaker, although it is shortened in the version, or proposed version, parehas naman po. Kasi it speaks about, Mr. Speaker, it speaks about the discretion that we allow the President to appoint new members.
Pero Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, kanina ho kasi ang sinasabi natin, yung issue ho ng resetting pati yung extension. Kasi dito ho sa first sentence, ang sinasabi ho rito, during the extension of the transition period, which is absent dito sa Section 2.
Section 2 of which...
Section 2 of House Bill number 11144.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, because it is...
So therefore, yung House Bill number 1144 is not transition period.
Well, we
Yun
leave
lang
it,
ang-
Mr. Speaker. Yeah, we leave it, Mr. Speaker. We leave it. Again, I have already corrected my own position on this just to set the record straight. We decided, Mr. Speaker, to leave it, hindi ho na namin pinagyan o kinwalify yun dahil ang pinaka-purpose naman po talaga is resetting the election. But let's go back again to the original document, which is the BOL. Ang sinabi naman po sa BOL, it should be MILF-led. So we cannot say anything about or diluting that power granted to the MILF in this case, vis-a-vis the parliament's leadership, kasi nandun po sa BOL na yun. So we decided, Mr. Speaker, to remain it silent. No? Yung kasi na-supply naman po dyan na Bangsamoro Organic Law, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor. Gusto ko lang pong linawin, Mr. Speaker, sa ating kagalang-galang na interpellator na ang specific po na sinasabi po dito ay yung kapangyarihan ng Presidente. It does not speak anything about the transition or the setting. The Section 2 specifically defines and gives parameter to the power of the President to appoint new members, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor. Yun lang po yung intention ng Section 2 na ito. Doon sa batas, Republic Act 11-593 at dito po sa proposed na batas ng House Bill number 11-144.
Anyway, Mr. Speaker, iparaphrase ko yung tanong ko. Ang resetting ba is extension of the BTA?
Mr. Speaker, the words of under this proposed House Bill number 11-050, it did mention about the word interim. And the the transition period, Mr. Speaker, speaks about the Parliament operating prior to the election of this officers.
Regular election.
Tama. So, on that premise, Mr. Speaker, since we are allowing the President appoint new members, then it follows, Mr. Speaker, that since it is interim, it is still under transition period, Mr. Speaker.
Actually, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, unless and until maglagay tayo ng special provision na holdover, talagang kahit hindi natin i-mention, talagang authority ng Pangulo yon na mag-appoint. Pero medyo curious lang ako yung sa paggamit at pagtanggal ng word transition at pag-reset ng election. Comparing sa previous Republic Act, pati itong House Bill ng 1144. Kasi magkaiba ho yung implication, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor. To my understanding, ang different nun, pag sinabi mong resetting and at the same time extending yung transition period ng Bangsamoro Transition Authority, ibig sabihin nun kung ano yung content nung nasa Bangsamoro Organic Law, yun yung i-extend mo at hindi magbabago. Pero pag sinabi mong i-reset at silent ka dito, Mr. Speaker, remember gumagawa ho tayo ng batas. Naalala ko nga yung issue ng Maguindanao del Norte. Yung Maguindanao del Norte, simple lang. Ang sinasabi lang ho doon, kaya inauthorize ang Pangulo daw mag-appoint dahil ang nasabi lang doon sa panukalang batas kung magkakaroon ng election prior, kung ma-delay yung election ba, ganun sa Del Norte? Kaya ginamit ho yon dahil very silent doon sa post-election. So, hindi nagkaroon ng plebiscite, nagkaroon ng plebiscite after nung election. Kaya yun yung point, bakit ko gustong i-raise to, just for the purpose of record, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, kasi magkaiba talaga yung meaning nun. Unless yun yung intent. Ang definition natin, transition period pa rin ito, at hindi ho ito resetting lang, pero even resetting, ang implication is transition period. Pero pag sabihin ho natin na resetting at the same time transition period, iba ho ang implication nun.
That is correct. I think yung observation po, we agree on that though we did not specify na it's an extension of a transition period, but if the Parliament operates having members who have not been elected to that office, but their entry to the Parliament is by virtue of an appointment, then it implies that it is still under transition period, Mrs. The reason why we did not altogether change or the formulation of the language, Mrs. Speaker, under Section 2 of the previous law, it's because it speaks about the power of the President to appoint new members. Whether or not this would be an extension of the transition period, again, since these officers are not elected yet, then it is presumed that the operation of the Parliament is still under transition period. And that's very clear, Mr. Speaker. Your
Pero, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, even in the Republic, as you mentioned, the authority of the President is still there, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor. Ang point ko lang ho dito, kasi magkaiba ho yung content yung essence ng transition period dahil minimension doon sa Republic Act, pero pagdating dito sa House Bill, hindi na na-mention. Kaya parang, ang point ko ganito, Mr. Speaker, para klaro, applicable ba yung provision ng Bangsamoro Organic Law mentioning that during the period of resetting, yung MILF-led?
Mr. Speaker, it is implied, Mr. Speaker, under Republic Act, explicitly under BOL. So I guess even without Mr. Speaker, my own understanding is without a explicit amendment to that particular section under Bangsamoro Organic Law, I'm not talking about just the law, but the Bangsamoro Organic Law, it will still serve, Mr. Speaker, that it's still applicable on these two previous laws and this proposed. And besides, Mr. Speaker, if I may add, my good friend here, the one of the co-sponsors of this bill, Mr. Speaker, Congressman Khalid Dimaporo, who happens to be the one who defended the bill in the previous Congresses. I remind me, Mr. Speaker, and I agree with him during our committee hearing, and if the good gentleman from Basilan may recall, that the formulation of this Section 2 is actually also substantially inspired by the OPAP's position that since we are still under transition period, we are still under interim, meaning hindi pa nagkaka-election, MILF po would certainly be part of the next set of officers.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor.
Until 2026, Mr. Speaker.
Ako, given naman na dapat parte sila, pero ang issue ng transition period, dahil very specific ang provision ng BOL, pag transition period must be an MILF-led.
That is correct.
Pero pag hindi ho, kaya tinatanong ko rito, dahil ang resetting, wala na yung word na transition period, pwede ring hindi magiging MILF-led. Depende na sa Pangulo ng ating bansa.
Mr. Speaker, it is already supplied nga po in the BOL, even without specifying that under Section 2. The Section 2, Mr. Speaker, only describe the power of the President to appoint new members, Mr. Speaker. But it has already been supplied to under Bangsamoro Organic Law. So I don't think there's a need, Mr. Speaker, to mention that in Section 2 when it has already been supplied under Bangsamoro Organic Law, Mr. Speaker, which is the basic reference. Should we propose any laws here, it should be compatible with the Bangsamoro Organic Law, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, kaya ko lang ho minention to. Kasi alam naman natin, special law to for purposes of election, di ba? Ng resetting ng election. Pero any provision dito, pag silent ka, pwedeng amendment doon sa original ng organic law. Kasi, halimbawa, itong resetting natin ng election, definitely amendment to doon sa original kung ano ang provision ng Bangsamoro Organic Law for purposes of election. Kaya ni-reiterate ko lang to kasi ho kanina, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, na-mention na yung issue ng resetting. But anyway, Mr. Speaker, dahil binabanggit nyo na hindi pwedeng very clear naman at hindi to amendment doon sa specific provision na binanggit nyo. So, let me go to another point, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor. Yung, anong mangyayari, Mr. Speaker, ngayon? Anong mangyayari pagdating ng election? Manual ba to or automated?
Mr. Speaker, according po dun sa sinabi, nung nag-respond po ang COMELEC, ang proposal po ng COMELEC ay manual, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Pero will this sponsor later? I think will the distinguished sponsor amenable for any amendment that the election must be conducted through automation?
Tama po. Pagdating naman po sa pagbatas at pag-instruct po, no, sa COMELEC, ay tayo naman po, may kapangyarihan naman po tayo to lay down the legal premise for COMELEC to conduct it in automated elections.
Ako, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, kaya ko lang nire-raise yung issue ng automation at manual. Kasi alam mo, halimbawa, tayo, naka-experience tayo, the more na madidelay yung result ng election, the more na yung vulnerability nito sa kaguluhan. Minsan habang binibilang, minsan numero lang, tapos yung allegation, minsan yun yung nagki-create ng gulo. Kaya even during the committee hearing, binabanggit na natin na dapat hindi tayo dapat pumayag, lalong-lalo na tayong mga taga-BARM na gawing manual yung elections. I hope later, during the period of amendment, the distinguished sponsor will agree to the proposed amendment, specifically on the issue of automation, on the conduct of BARM election on May 2026, Mr. Speaker. Another point, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, sa loob ng isang taon, ano yung in-expect nating outcome at gagawin? Kaya nga sinuspend natin ang issue ba rito, yung reallocation lang ng seat ang gagawin sa loob ng isang taon?
Yes, part of that, Mr. Speaker, is reallocation ng seats. Pangalawa po, yung sinasabi po ng COMELEC na mabigyan sila ng oras para dun sa mekanismo nung paano mag-handle ng election ng mga sectoral representatives. Kasi mukhang yung Bangsamoro Electoral Code ay kailangan pa ho nilang i-refine. Naghingi din ho ng oras ang COMELEC para po mas malawak at mas maganda at mas guided yung kanilang pag-certify ng mga partido na gustong lumahok. Pangalawa, yung mga sectoral parties na gusto din lumahok sa kanilang sa community nila, sa sector nila, kung paano sila mag-i-elect ng sarili nilang mga representante sa Parliament. Among other things, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Pero di ba, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, meron ng mga agencies in charge. Ang role naman ng COMELEC dito, actually yung sa pagtandak ng election, ang tingin ko supervision na lang ang role ng COMELEC, especially pagdating sa sectoral. Kasi hindi naman trabaho ng COMELEC na yun. Kasi merong mga agencies in charge at meron na rin mga accredited organizations ng mga agency o ng mga ministry ng Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. So, ang tingin ko hindi yun masyadong komplikado. So, ibig sabihin nito, sa loob ng period ng 1 year, ang pinag-uusapan na lang natin dito, yung issue ng reallocation ng allocated seats for Sulu, paano ma-reallocate doon sa mga probinsya na kung saan may surplus sila ng numbers of populations more than the required minimum requirements of the Bangsamoro Electoral Code and the Bangsamoro Organic Law.
Tama po yun, Mr. Speaker, yung observation ng ating kagalang-galang na interpellator.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, yung conduct ng election kung automation, magkano yung nabanggit ng COMELEC na kailangan nila?
Mr. Speaker, without Sulu, ang manual is 852 million. Kung automated is 1.771 billion po, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Kung halimbawa, i-conduct by automation, anong sources of fund natin yan? Kung halimbawa, 2026, Mr. Speaker, definitely sa 2025, hindi naman kailangan kasi wala namang election. Pero yung 2026, sa general appropriation or sa savings ng COMELEC?
Sa pagkakalam ko, Mr. Speaker, doon naman po sa kung sa 2026 po, it will still be subject to a 2026 GAA. So, ang akin po, the good gentleman from Basilan have spent more time here in the House than this representation. So, I guess my own humble interpretation would be, it will be subject for general appropriations.
For 2026.
For 2026, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, distinguished colleagues. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, kahit balikan natin, malinaw ako, Mr. Speaker, kahit anong mangyari, magkaroon man tayo nung issue pa rin sa akin. Of course, ito manifestation na lang. Una, yung legality, yung constitutionality ng proposed measure na to. But at the end of the day nga, sabi natin, antayin na lang natin kung ano yung magiging resulta kung merong maghahain ng petition matapos pirmahan ng Pangulo o matapos mainak ang panukalang batas na to. And second, yung issue rin ng requirements ng Makalintal versus COMELEC. So, Mr. Speaker, District Sponsor, I think it's time to end my interpellation. Unang-una, maraming salamat sa ating sponsor at sa ating majority leader. Mr. Speaker, one last point pala. Nung committee hearing, humingi tayo ng legal opinion ng Office of the Solgen and Commission on Audit. Ito yung kaugnay sa pondo para sa probinsya ng Sulu. Alam naman, malinaw ho, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, even DBM, at tayo mismo sa Congress, inaamin natin, wala tayong na-allocate na pondo for Sulu for the year 2025. So ang question ko rito, anong possibility? Saan natin kukunin ang pondo na to? And at the same time, nung diniscuss natin sa committee, humihingi, sabi natin, hingin natin ang legal opinion ng Office of the Solicitor General and the Commission on Audit. Kung possible ba, pwedeng pagkunan muna rito yung block grant na 5% block grant sa Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao.
Okay, yes, okay. Tama po, mayroon po tayong sulat, official position po galing po sa Solicitor General. Ang sabi po nila dito, pagdating doon sa operation ng black grant, as far as Sulu is concerned, employee, ito po, i-quote ko na lang po, no? Ang sabi po nila, employing the operative fact doctrine, the funding for the province of Sulu for the year 2025 shall still come from the BARM black grant. Yun po yung sabi ng Solicitor General.
So thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor. Maybe at a proper time, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, I think we have to add another section to address and the issue, the pending issue of the province of Sulu, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor. So thank you, Mr. Speaker, thank you, distinguished sponsor, at salamat sa ating COMSEC at sa staff, back staff ng ating sponsor. So yun lamang, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Alaikumussalam warahmatullahi.
Thank you, Honorable Hataman.